Hi, guys. So today I am going to be talking about self esteem. So it is a chapter in the workbook, but I wanted to not just talk about self esteem, but I also wanted to talk about the Bible scripture that I put with it. So I'm just going to jump right in. All right, so the definition that I have in the book for self esteem is the belief, confidence, and satisfaction of your own worth and abilities. And the Bible verse that I put with that is Hebrews 10 35 and 36. And it says, "So do not throw away your confidence, it will be richly rewarded." You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. A few things stuck out to me when I read that scripture. And for me, it was the pronouns. It says, "Do not throw away your confidence. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised." When you link it back to self esteem and understanding that you have to have this confidence and belief and satisfaction in your own abilities and worth, I feel like that is in a direct relation to what God has instructed us to do. Because for me, in order to have confidence, you have to have some self esteem. There has to be the belief there and the satisfaction there in your own worth and abilities for you to be able to even walk into what God has asked you to do. A lot of that is because of the time and the culture that we live in. It's so easy to get caught up in the social media hype. It's so easy to get caught up in all of the superficiality. I probably just made up a word, but all of the superficial things, that we see on social media. It's all about artificial. Everything is artificial, man-made, doctor-made, et cetera, et cetera. So it's extremely easy to get caught up in all of that hype to where you no longer appreciate yourself just as you are. You no longer believe in your own worth and abilities because you scroll through Instagram 6 hours a day and you're seeing all of this superficial, unreal, not real stuff. And for young girls, because you guys know that's where I'm going, is to reach out to the young girls coming into adulthood, because they need a place to where they can get sound advice so that they can understand who they are, so that they can navigate in this world a little better. Not just navigate in the world, but navigate in the things that God has called them to do. You cannot walk into what God has called you to do when you don't believe in yourself, because everything around you is telling you not to believe in yourself. Everything around you is telling you that everything about you is wrong. From your eyelashes to your edges to your hair, everything about you is wrong according to social norms. So you can't walk in the will of God when you're trying to be something in somebody else. Focusing on me, I need to make sure that I have it together up here so that I can continue to walk in my truth. I can continue to walk into what God has told me to do. Because majority of the time, the thing that God has told you to do is gonna have nothing to do with what's going on, all the fakeness that's going on in society. It's just not. And you have to be very strong minded in order to stand in that, and in order to truly walk in that and do the works in the will of God. And that is the season that I'm in. So everything, when I turn on this camera and everything that I say, trust me, it's for me first before it's for anybody else. So that is what I'm walking in. I am walking in building the self-esteem and the self-confidence day in and day out, to make sure that I don't fall off from the will of God. Because I'm in the position in life, again, to where I've done it another way. I've done it my way. I've done it based on whatever I felt like I should have been doing, knowing that that's not what God had called me to do. And not necessarily in like a career standpoint, but even some, personal things that I went through. I was just doing what I wanted to do. When I prayed to God and asked for that release, and when I prayed to God and genuinely asked Him to show me what He wanted me to do, that is what I'm standing by. I'm not deterring. I'm not shifting left and shifting right. As best as I humanly can, even though I don't like it. I don't like being vulnerable. I am an extremely private person, and it's difficult to do the things that God has asked me to do because I don't want to do them. A lot of them. Some of them it's okay, but others I don't want to do it. But when I prayed the prayer, and again, when you pray that prayer, you have to be careful of what you ask for, because if you ask, He's going to tell you. And once He tells you, now you have this responsibility to uphold that, uphold what God has asked you to do. But I just want to encourage those people that are walking in the will of God. I want to encourage those people that are desiring to walk in the will of God. Because for me, I don't want to leave this earth and have not fulfilled the calling on my life. I don't want to leave this earth and have not done the things that God has called and asked for me to do. Again, that is success. Following the obedience of what God has asked you to do is the ultimate success. Not the likes, not the shares, not the comments, not the phone calls, not the cards, not the gifts, not the anything. Any worldly satisfaction that we get. That is not the success. It's great to have those things, but that's not the success. The success is in the obedience of God. So when we get that confidence and we're able to walk in our truth, we're able to walk in the will of God, and we're able to walk in the things that God has asked us to do. It tells us right here in Hebrews that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised. And I don't know about you, but for me, I want all of what God has promised me. I want all of it. Anything that He promised, send it over here.